It's the Brad and John Show.
John, it is the C block, the Charlie block. Today's date is November 3rd. It is our first show of November 2026 because the first, obviously, was Saturday. The second was a Sunday. And I'd be here and working, but John won't work those days because at our one transmitter site in St. Charles County, the KSLQ transmitter site, we have a pipeline that goes in through the transmitter site, okay? And I have to do some excavation work at that transmitter site. So I have to call Missouri 1 call. And I heard this rumor, and I got official confirmation this morning that the Phillips 66 pipeline that runs through St. Charles County through the KSLQ transmitter site is abandoned. Now, why would a petroleum company abandon their pipeline? Because pipelines are very expensive to produce and put in. Why is that pipeline abandoned? Do you have any ideas, John?
I don't know. Do you know the answer to that, Brad?
I don't. Matter of fact, see, here's the interesting thing. I got the email this morning because you have to call. I called Missouri 1 call yesterday. I was at the transmitter site Saturday, and I have to do some, like I said, I have to do some work out there. And, you know, I'm real good about this. It says right here, it says, where did I read it? Maybe it wasn't on this one. Anyway, the idea being is I got the here. Hold on a minute. Let me see which one it is. Here it is, right here. Please be advised there is an abandoned DCP Phillips 66 pipeline in the area. There is no product in this pipeline. For additional information, please contact the Damage Prevention Unit 918. Blah 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 blah. The pipeline's abandoned, and this was either a oil pipeline or a gas pipeline, and if you know the area, it goes through St. Charles County, down south of Augusta or west of Augusta, whichever way you look at it, and it goes under the Missouri River, and it goes through St. Charles County. I don't know where it ultimately ends up. I think it might go into like Warren County, place like that. It's abandoned. I mean, after all that money they put in, and the crazy thing about it is the reason I had a feeling it was abandoned because usually they send their crews out to clear the area, and that's when they have the cool helicopters with the big old monster saws. Remember we talked about this? They hover down along the ground and they got like 20 saw blades, and I'm not kidding. It's a helicopter unit that has like 20 saw blades that hangs down below the helicopter, and it just slowly moves along the tree line and just chop, 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 and to the point where when you look down the easement, it's like, how did they do that? It's like this perfectly clean fence line or, tree line to the point where it's not like there's a couple branches hanging over. It's vertical. I mean, it's
perfect.
Yes,
yeah.
It's perfect. Well, it's
horizontal.
They don't do that anymore. And they don't clear the ground anymore. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, why did they abandon a pipeline? I don't get it.
Would a local elected official know? Like if you talk to somebody at the county, they would probably know, right?
About 6 months ago, somebody contacted me and say, hey, that pipeline on your property is no longer used. I go, what? And I called a couple people, and nobody knows anything about it. One of my neighbors up there who knows, he's a much sharper guy than I am. He knows everything about everything. I asked him, I go, hey, Marvin, what's going on? He goes, I don't know. He says, I haven't heard anything. Matter of fact, when I asked him about it, he never heard of it either. And the pipeline goes through his property as well too. So he had no notification whatsoever. And I'm thinking to myself, why would they just abandon it? I don't know if you know this or not. There was a new pipeline put in that crossed under 44 that if you know where the Bus and Quarry is, where you go west and
I don't know that, no.
Okay, well, when you're going west and 44, you go up Antire Hill and you come down Antire Hill and you make that curve to the right. Okay, on the left there's a big quarry. Okay, they put the pipeline sort of through the quarry property, then underneath 44, and it crosses underneath 44 right there, and it switches over to the north side of I-44, goes all the way out to Gray Summit and places like that. And I don't know what pipeline that is either. But yet that was a new one they put in like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm going like, okay. And I know it went through, I heard people complain about it. It went into like the Fenton area and places like that. People go, oh my God, they put it in a pipeline. And see, the NIMBYs are out in force. We don't want that pipeline. We don't want the pipeline. We don't want cell phone towers. We're farmers in North State of Missouri.
Yeah. How do they feel about electric transmission lines, Brad?
John, don't bait me on this. Josh Hawley doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Josh Hawley is losing it. I'm telling you. There's something's going wrong with him. I'm telling you, you think I'm kidding about this. There is a movement to essentially trade Josh Hawley and the what's the guy's name? Zork from Pennsylvania, to trade those two. You know what I'm talking about?
Fetterman?
Yes.
Okay, you call him Zork?
Well, remember who's the cartoon character he looks like? You know what I'm saying? Well, he's like
I don't know. Does Fetterman look like a cartoon character?
Yes. Have you ever?
I didn't know that.
Have you ever seen the guy?
Yeah, I can't think of a cartoon character that would look like maybe Charlie Brown. I mean, he's got a bald head, right?
No, it's not Charlie Brown.
Are you thinking of Zork and Mindy?
No, that's Mork and Mindy.
I'm not surprised you know a guy named Marvin, by the way. Speaking of Martians, I'm not surprised that you know a guy named Marvin.
You know,
a couple weeks ago you said you knew a guy named Ted. And I'm like, Brad, you seem like a guy that would know a Marvin and a Ted. You know, men of a certain age have a Marvin in their life.
What's wrong with the name Marvin? See,
I didn't say anything was wrong with it, Brad.
There's like, for example, my daughter's name Amanda, and I fought my wife on that one at the time when she was born. I did not want her named Amanda, and I've told the story. One time I went to some ceremony she was at, like NHS. No, it was actually she won some award at Mizzou when she was a student at Mizzou, and I sat there in the audience and I started counting Amanda. I got up to 8 Amandas, and after the ceremony was over, her and I went out to dinner, and I said to her, Amanda, you were one of 8 Amandas. If you would have been a Gabrielle, you would have been the only Gabrielle there. And she looked at me with a very scornful face, and she says, I would rather be one of 8 Amandas than one stupid Gabrielle. I don't get it.
Do you think there was anything, what were you hoping to accomplish in that conversation by telling her that her name wasn't special?
I was trying to get her to convince her that she would go to me to the state, and we would go down to Jefferson City at the DOR, and we would get her name changed. That's what we were going to do.
There you go. That's a really good outcome. And you know what? You were so close, Brad. After a joyous moment that's supposed to be celebrating your daughter, to criticize her name on what's supposed to be a joyous day, that's a good decision.
Okay, John, be honest with me. Do you sometimes feel you are at a disadvantage because you are one of gazillion Johns of our era? No, seriously. I mean that sincerely. Because when I was in school, okay, there was an abundance of Davids, an overabundance of Michaels, and what was the other name? Maybe it was John as well, too.
Joseph? There's probably a lot of Josephs your era.
Right. So when the teacher said, John, and 5 dudes looked up, did you ever have that problem?
Why is that a problem? Yeah, there were plenty of Johns. There's only one John Combest.
But didn't it bother you that you were one of many Johns?
No.
Really, it didn't?
Brad, I don't know how many times I have to answer the same question. No, there's people named John all over the world. There's people named Amanda all over the world.
But I'm far, for example, the Mondami guy, Zoran, I'm thinking to myself, what a cool name. I think these unusual names, I think they are really, really cool because it's like when you don't even have to say his last name. You just say Zoran. People go, oh,
yeah, or it'd be like being named Cher or Madonna. They're just one name.
Well, Madonna's somewhat of a common name. Cher is somewhat of a common name as well, too.
Hey, do you know anyone named Madonna?
I do. I know. Matter of fact, we used to deal with a woman when I was doing my traffic network. The lady who ran the Illinois Department of Transportation Communications room was named Madonna, and we used to deal with her all the time. I went to school with a couple of Madonnas, believe it or not.
Oh wow! Okay, I stand corrected then, Brad.
Yes, and Cher. I know 3 women who I've known for quite some time who were Cheryls, who call themselves Cher. There was another lady in England who I was a big fan of. I don't know if she's still recording anymore. Her name was Cher Lloyd, another Cher. So, see, I think you have unique names. Like, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger. How many guys do you know are named Arnold? And for example, there's a guy that I deal with is in my leads group.
Arnie Dienoff, yeah.
Right, Arnie Dienoff. And then there's a guy that's in my leads group, Manny Rodriguez, and I think his real name is Emmanuel, but I like the name Manny, and you go and you watch some of the episodes of Sopranos. There's all sorts of interesting names of some of these guys, some of these.
Gerardo, that was a good one from Sopranos.
Right. See, I think a name is unique, and if I had to, matter of fact, I have to tell you, I've never told you this before. You know what my brother's middle name is?
Stay away from Brad.
Winner. Winner.
Yeah, you have told that story before.
Yes.
You're right, Brad.
Yes. And my father had 4 names, okay? My father was Leroy, 2 names. His middle name was Zigmund, Zigmund, Hildebrand. And I have, at one point in time, you're going to laugh when I tell you this, I have actually started the procedure to change my name.
Oh, and to add a Zigmund?
I was going to have, in honor of my father, I was going to have 4 names. I was going to be Brad, and then my first middle name would be Lee. So, get it, because my real name is Bradley.
I get it,
but
I get it, Bradley.
Brad, yeah. Lee, Zigmund, Hildebrand.
Oh, wow. That would be definitely, so, and you would do that to honor him, even though he's dead and he wouldn't know it. You would be doing that to honor him.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. And is that just something that got put on the back burner when you bought, according to AI.com?
No, the problem with it is that it's very, 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 very difficult to declare 4 names anymore. So it's to the point where it's almost...
Really? I wonder why that is.
Well, they're trying to, but see, it's interesting because...
Who's they?
The government. It's
okay, and the government is one entity. It's not a government on multiple levels. So the government is trying to keep...
You have to... The name change has to be done in the county you live in. It's a county issue. So in other words, if you want to change your name, you have to go. If you live in St. Charles County, you got to file it in St. Charles.
And the government wants to make that harder on people, is what you're saying.
Yes, they don't want you changing your name.
Okay.
No, seriously, they don't, because of the fact that then they can't tap into your phones and watch your Facebook feeds and things like that.
You know who spent a lot of time in the last week talking about tapping into phones? It's Josh Hawley. What's happened to him? I think they're trying to trade him for Zork.
John,
Zork and Mindy.
You think I'm kidding about that? And
listen, Zygmunt, I think you're onto something there, Zygmunt.
But here's the interesting part of it is my family is such a mess. Okay, my dad's name was Zygmunt, Zigmund, and he was named. His middle name was after his father's first name. The only problem was that wasn't his father's first name. His father's first name was Zygmunt. Zigmont.
Oh, but it was stylized as Zygmunt.
Well, my mom told me the story when I was a kid, that at one point in time when she first met my father would constantly change the spelling of his last name. One day we were Hildebrands, Hilderbrand, and sometimes we were Hildebrands, Brndt. Sometimes we were just Hildebrand, like is the pronunciation I have right now. Sometimes we were just Hildebrand, Hillebrand. And I said to my mom, why did he do that? And she goes, I don't know, he just changed it all the time.
But he was an engineer brain, and he wasn't a communications or language guy. So maybe he didn't care that much, don't you think?
I don't know.
Brad, I'll see you on Monday.